This is Meteorologist John Jurgens with an update here at 7 o'clock with the severe weather situation across the state line at this hour. We have brand new information for Greene County, Wisconsin. There was a tornado warning there briefly for just north of Monroe that has just been canceled. So we have good news there in Greene County. That severe thunderstorm now no longer looking as indicative of producing a tornado. So that tornado warning for the central part of Greene County, just to the north of Monroe, that has been taken off the board. So some good news there. By the way, do want to tell you we are streaming right now on WREX.com, the 13 News app, the 13 Weather app as well. Also on our Facebook and YouTube pages. So especially on our Facebook pages, if you have any questions on the severe weather setup for tonight, make sure to put those in there. We'll go over those in just a second. But in the meantime, just want to go through what is the imminent danger right now, which is still a severe thunderstorm warning for northern Greene County. This is in effect until, that's actually the information being pulled is the wrong, that's the one for the Madison area. Let me pull up the info for Greene County. This is a severe thunderstorm warning until 7 o'clock. So this is for the next 2 minutes for the potential for half-dollar size hail. And again, still watching that potential for a tornado with that thunderstorm. So as we take a look here closer or actually, let me just show you the watches that have been issued. Tornado watch in yellow. This is for Greene County, Wisconsin, Stevenson County, Freeport, Lena, Pearl City, German Valley, Dakota. You're under a tornado watch until midnight. Same story goes for Joe Davis County, so Galena, Elizabeth, Stockton, Carroll County, Savannah, Lanark, Mount Carroll, Milledgeville, Whiteside County, Sterling, Rock Falls. You're under tornado watches until midnight tonight. Also, this brand new, just after our 6 o'clock newscast, we had a severe thunderstorm watch get issued for Rock and Walworth counties in southern Wisconsin. This also in effect until midnight. This is with an area of thunderstorms that has developed across southern Wisconsin early this afternoon, and that continues to move through later on into now the early parts of the evening. So looking at exact track radar right now, you can see much of the area is still dry. It's that very thin line of thunderstorms across southern Wisconsin that has been doing much of the kind of the damage, if you will, as we see across the area. So let me zoom in here on Greene County, and I'll pause the radar here just so we can get a good look at this tremendous amounts of lightning across northern Greene County, including Monticello, and it looks like we may have a new severe thunderstorm warning there. Let me get that straight for you. Yes, a new severe thunderstorm warning until 7:45. So this is far to the north of Monroe. This is for the Monticello area, just to the south of Belleville. This is a severe thunderstorm warning now extended until 7:45. This is for potentially some, let me get the info right here. This is for quarter-size hail and 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts to the north of Monroe, Wisconsin. So still with that severe thunderstorm, no longer a tornado warned storm, still just a severe thunderstorm warning for northern Greene County. As we progress this further on, I'll take a zoom out here and we'll take a look here and show you how pretty much these storms are kind of just staying just north of the Wisconsin state line. So earlier, about 2, 3 o'clock this afternoon, we had a thunderstorm cutting across Stevenson County, places like Pearl City, Freeport. There was even dime-sized hail in the Rock City area that eventually fizzled out as it got closer to Beloit. But then these thunderstorms have managed to sustain themselves. This is because the environment was getting more unstable later into the afternoon and into the evening, and this is why we're seeing more of these severe thunderstorm warnings across southern Wisconsin, as that boundary has kind of just been stubborn across southern Wisconsin. That's kept most of the severe threat north of the Illinois-Wisconsin state line. However, it's not going to last too much longer, though. That's because we have a line of severe thunderstorms moving into eastern Iowa now. This is pretty much right between Des Moines and Davenport at this hour. We can see severe thunderstorm warning boxes lined up all along that line, and there were even tornado warning boxes further back across southern Iowa and northern Missouri with this line of storms. None of them quite, as of right now, However, there's a reason that a tornado watch was issued and instead of a severe thunderstorm watch for this area you see again in yellow. So we have Claudia asking about Loves Park and also asking about Freeport and Stevenson County. So pretty much the breakdown. The counties in yellow, I'll break them down again. Greene County in Wisconsin, tornado watch until midnight. Stevenson County, so that does include the city of Freeport. Tornado watch until midnight. Joe Davis, Carroll, Whiteside counties, tornado watch until midnight. Pink shading is a severe thunderstorm watch. Rock and Walworth counties in southern Wisconsin, that is also in effect until midnight. So Winnebago County, so Loves Park, Rockford, McChesney Park, Rockton, Roscoe South, Beloit, Cherry Valley, also Ogle, Lee, Boone, DeKalb, and McHenry counties are not under a watch as of right now. The National Weather Service is going to kind of just wait and see how this line progresses across eastern Iowa, and then if it looks like it's going to maintain that strength, then they'll likely consider a watch across the rest of northern Illinois. However, it's just too early in the game right now. We have to see how this domino falls here as we continue, as this pretty much crosses the Mississippi River. How is this going to handle, potentially a stabilizing environment as we get later on into the night? Just naturally through the nighttime, the environment just turns more stable, and that goes against the strengthening of these storms. So we just have to watch very closely how this line progresses as it gets closer, excuse me, to the Quad Cities. So Dixon, Janesville area, again, no watch yet for the Dixon area. Janesville area now under a severe thunderstorm watch. That severe thunderstorm across northern Greene County, I should make a note here for the Janesville area, likely going to stay just to the north of you guys. So I think this is maybe more of a deal for Edgerton and then into southern Dane County, so areas closer to Madison. However, I think the Janesville area may just be on the outside looking in on this. Still keep an eye on this just to be safe, especially if you're north of Janesville. However, you're probably also getting a decent light show into this. There's just tremendous amounts of lightning in here, and actually I can actually take a look here and see how many lightning strikes there have been in this thunderstorm in the last 15 minutes. About 85 lightning strikes. So these are very electric thunderstorms. So definitely you do not want to be messing with this thunderstorm. Remember, if you can hear thunder, you are close enough to be struck by lightning. So even if we're not seeing any kind of severe weather with this thunderstorm, the lightning in and of itself is still very dangerous. And that'll be the case over all of the thunderstorms that we see tonight. There's a lot of humidity. You probably felt it if you stepped outside. There's a lot of juice in the air. So we're going to be seeing that potential for tremendous amounts of lightning with these thunderstorms. So really do take it seriously, even if there isn't a severe thunderstorm warning or tornado warning associated with it. These storms still are pretty impressive, especially once we get to eastern Iowa. So again, going to take a look here at Future Track. I knew I had this up here at some point. So here's Future Track, closer towards about 9 o'clock. Now this latest model run is showing that the thunderstorms still hanging around across eastern Iowa. I think this may be just a little bit slow at this point. I do think that we'll be seeing the thunderstorms approaching the Mississippi River by about 9 o'clock. So I think maybe this model just a little slow with this, but again, we just got to go with it. So as we take a look here closer towards 9, there may be some pop-up thunderstorms ahead of this. What kind of severe threat they would give, not quite sure at this point. Gusty winds, large hail would probably be the biggest threats with these. But then I think the more widespread threat comes once this line gets through here. So here's the model showing it closer towards 11 o'clock, showing that line of thunderstorms, reaching that Freeport area and the Sterling and Dixon areas closer towards 11 o'clock. Again, this may be a little slow, so maybe closer to 10 o'clock. Again, we just have to watch that line to see where that line, how fast that line is progressing. It can speed up, it can slow down. It's especially of a line of thunderstorms of this kind of magnitude, it can kind of just do its own thing. So we just got to watch it pretty closely there. But then, especially after midnight, notice those watches were in effect until midnight. That's because these storms are just going to kind of fall apart because that atmosphere is just going to be stabilizing as we head, starting after sunset, but really as we head towards midnight. That's when the atmosphere is really just going to be kind of going against these thunderstorms. So still expect some pockets of heavy rainfall, even some lightning still as well, but the severe threat will go down considerably, especially after midnight. So that expiration time for the watches at midnight is on purpose because We're seeing that severe threat really going down, especially after midnight, and then that continues to roll, some light rain showers, and then again, we're seeing the possibility, the models have been indicating this over the last few model runs here over the last few hours, maybe seeing another surge of heavy rainfall overnight. And this would be something that we have to watch out for a potential flooding threat. So this would be heading into the overnight hours. So thankfully, it's not a time that a lot of people are going to be on the roads, but if you are planning on driving, you really do want to make sure that you are being aware. Remember, turn around and don't drown if we encounter any kind of flooded roadways, because that is a serious situation, especially after dark, especially at night. You're never going to be able to tell how deep the water is on the roadway. So you really want to be taking that seriously. So hello to Linnell over in Elizabeth. We're starting to see the conditions favorable for severe storms. The winds have picked up. And actually earlier on, there were those thunderstorms that kind of came across here, eastern parts of Joe Daviess County here in a second. Let me try to get over to the radar. There we go, so that I can mess around with it. Yeah, thankfully these have stayed just to the north of Joe Daviess County, north of Elizabeth. So again, Elizabeth is right here, Galena's over here. Really just outside of Dubuque is where these thunderstorms have been kind of training over each other. So, and actually, maybe we could have a little bit of a flooding threat across far northeastern Iowa near Dubuque, and also southwestern Wisconsin, cutting across northern Monroe, just because they've had multiple rounds of these thunderstorms coming through. So we'll watch that carefully. I haven't seen too many of that from the National Weather Service. Just kind of monitoring our chat sessions here with the National Weather Service, seeing any kind of indications on this thunderstorm in Greene County. That's kind of the more immediate concern across our area, is that active severe thunderstorm warning in in Greene County. No active warnings for Joe Daviess County. This is a severe thunderstorm warning for Greene County, Wisconsin. However, haven't seen too many updates on that thunderstorm. And then also just watching our chat sessions with the National Weather Service in the Quad Cities, who is now going to be getting into warning the line of thunderstorms across Iowa. And remember what I was talking about the lightning with the Greene County storm? Look at the amount of lightning that's on the line coming in from Iowa near Ottumwa, just south of Cedar Rapids. Let's take a look at that. This is over the last 15 minutes, 425 lightning strikes just along that line across, now moving into eastern Iowa. And this is the line that's moving into our direction here over the next few hours. So really, really intense thunderstorms coming across eastern Iowa. Just looking at the lightning, let alone the damaging wind threat, potential hail threat, and that potential for a few embedded tornadoes within this line too. That's why that tornado watch is in effect until midnight. So very powerful thunderstorms right now on the way from Iowa. Jack wondering, so these current showers to the north will miss us right now until that front pushes in closer, pretty much. So kind of the big picture here. So let me zoom out the radar here real quick. These thunderstorms across southern Wisconsin, these are going to that's about as far south as they're going to get. They're not going to creep into northern Illinois too much. It's pretty much going to be an exclusive southern Wisconsin thing. Northern Illinois, our focus is going to be this line of thunderstorms as it moves off to the north and east, running into our area later on tonight. It's going to be a few hours here. So you have a few hours. If you have a few errands that you need to run, you got to head to the grocery store. You've got about an hour or two, but you really want to be home, I think, especially by 8 o'clock if you're in that tornado watch area. So 8 towards 9 o'clock. So you've got a little bit of time here as we continue to watch this line coming through. So, again, you have a little bit of time, so just continue to stay weather aware over the next few hours. And again, I'll jump into future track here one more time just to show everybody what we're looking at here. And again, I think it might just be, nearing the Maquoketa area, nearing that Mississippi River towards 9 o'clock, or here we go. Oh, the timestamp just went over to 9 o'clock, so we got the new So we got that hourly thing there. So those thunderstorms will be just starting to knock on the door of the Mississippi River closer towards 9 o'clock. And again, we just got to watch that line pretty closely here because like I mentioned before, these can kind of speed up and slow down as they go. As we head further along here, let me get one more step here. There we go. Closer towards 10, 11 o'clock, going to be reaching the Monroe, Freeport, Sterling areas, Dixon area as well. So this will be kind of a late night thing too. So as you're finding your multiple ways of getting warnings, have ways that can wake you up because, if you want to head to bed at 10, 11 o'clock like usual, you can do so as long as you have that way of getting alerts that can wake you up. A NOAA weather radio is a great way to do that. Those are really loud. They'll wake you up. I know from firsthand experience, those things have woken me up before. So they are great ways to wake you up in case you are asleep and a severe thunderstorm warning or a tornado warning is issued. Remember, we have that tornado watch for a reason. So as we progress this further, though, there is a reason that the tornado watch is in effect until midnight, because after midnight, notice how these storms just kind of break apart and fall apart. That's because the atmosphere have been well stabilized by then, so these thunderstorms going to kind of fall apart. Still pockets of heavy rainfall, still some lightning too, so these will probably potentially still be pretty loud after midnight, just not necessarily carrying as much of a severe weather threat, which is 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts and quarter-size hail. So that's what we're looking at after midnight. However, we're still going to watch for these pockets of heavier rainfall across northern Illinois because that could develop our secondary threat as we head into the overnight hours, and that is pockets of potentially flash flooding at times. So that's going to be that potential to watch for very carefully heading into the overnight hours. Thankfully, overnight, Saturday night, Sunday morning, not typically the busiest time on the roadways, so that's kind of a stroke of good luck for us there. But if you are planning on driving overnight, you really want to pay attention to the radar and remember to turn around and don't drown if you encounter a flooded out part of the roadway because, especially at dark, you're going to have no idea what's, underneath that water, whether it's, heaven forbid, power lines or if the road was washed out even. They're kind of an extreme case there, but still, you don't know what's going to be under there. So really want to be very careful, especially after dark if you are going to be out driving late tonight. So we also have Tim asking, what are the chances of a brand new severe thunderstorm watch or tornado watch be issued for Winnebago County? We just have to see how this line evolves across eastern Iowa. So that's kind of why it's kind of on purpose that the National Weather Service didn't issue that tornado watch or severe thunderstorm watch for the rest of northern Illinois. It's because they want to see how this line of thunderstorms, how strong it is as it is approaching and crossing over the Mississippi River. If it's still looking like it's severe, capable of bringing 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts, then they'll issue a new watch. But they're just going to kind of wait and see, because this is a pretty highly populated area, especially as you head into the Chicago suburbs. So you don't want to issue a watch too soon and then you realize, oh, those storms are falling apart, and then you have to cancel the watch. So they just want to watch it carefully, and then if they need to either extend or issue a new watch for the rest of northern Illinois, they will do so. They just have to watch for that thunderstorm as it gets through the Mississippi River, I think, and that would be close to about 9, 10 o'clock. So then maybe 10 to 11 o'clock near the Freeport, Dixon areas, 11 o'clock to midnight as it approaches the I-39 corridor. And that midnight there is, I think, a key time frame to look at there in terms of when we're looking at that severe potential kind of going by the wayside. So that's going to be that time to look out for. Jay is asking, how does tomorrow afternoon look? And that is a amazing question because tonight's severe weather is going to play a role into how tomorrow's potential for severe weather goes. So let me pull up tomorrow's risk. So today we're in a level 2 out of 5. Tomorrow evening, we're in a 1 out of 5 risk. The higher risk is off to the south and west. Pretty much the story here is we have to see how, kind of like what we were talking about before, that how the dominoes fall. We have to see how tonight's domino falls before we consider what tomorrow's domino will look like. So we're in a 1 out of 5 there. It is looking like a lower threat, though, because it's not as likely that atmospheric battery that we talk about, the instability in the atmosphere, that there's going to be as much as there is today. There's a higher level of instability in the atmosphere, so that battery is charged up a little bit more today. Tomorrow, it's looking fairly unlikely that the battery will be as charged as it is today. So there's not going to be as favorable of an environment tomorrow, which is why we're in a 1 out of 5. So tomorrow, if we do see severe thunderstorms, wind and hail would be the primary threats with those. Non-zero risk of a tornado, however, that threat is lower even compared to today. And again, all of this hangs on the ability of the atmosphere to recover after tonight's round and also showers and thunderstorms through tomorrow morning. So again, we're going to show future track here. This time for tomorrow, we're at 10 o'clock in the morning tomorrow. We're still going to have occasional light showers at times, and that'll continue into even the early parts of the afternoon. But then it's going to be how much of a break in the action can we get, and can we even get a little bit of sunshine? Because if we can, then that would actually add instability to the atmosphere and help recharge that battery. So as we head further on into the evening, again, this model not showing that we get very much of a break in the action. So these thunderstorms developing to our south and west, where there's a higher likelihood of severe weather, again, mainly the Quad Cities and areas south and west, even towards Quincy. As those thunderstorms get here, it's kind of like, will these storms just kind of hit a wall as they get towards our area, and then they just kind of fall apart? Yes, still seeing that potential for maybe an isolated stronger storm or two. That's why we have that 1 out of 5 risk in place. So as we progress this further, you can see how then it just becomes a large mass of rainfall, pockets of heavy rain, maybe some thunderstorms embedded in there as well. And notice how this is well overnight. This is very early Monday morning. So again, not really favorable timing for any kind of severe threat too. So that's why tomorrow night's threat is much lower compared to today's. Showers kind of move out heading into Monday morning, and we're pretty much dry after that. So that's when, finally this stretch of active weather dies down. We're also looking at potential other shower and thunderstorm chances heading towards the middle and latter part of next week. But, as I like to say, we'll kind of cross that bridge when we get there. But again, to recap the initial tonight's round of severe weather. Just want to break this down again for those of us that are watching from Greene County, Wisconsin, or those of us that know somebody in northern Greene County, Wisconsin. A severe thunderstorm warning in place until 7:45. This was tornado warned about 45 minutes ago. That tornado warning has been long gone. Severe thunderstorm warning in place for the next, about 25 minutes or so for quarter-size hail and 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. Jeanette saying hopefully it dies down in Freeport. That's the thing. It's like I just kind of hope that this can just die down once it hits the Mississippi River and we just get kind of just a nice night of thunderstorms. But, we just got to cross our fingers with that. However, we are seeing that tornado watch in place for Stevenson County until midnight. And the same story for Joe Davis, Carroll, and Whiteside counties and Greene County in Wisconsin. Actually, I can pull that up there. The yellow is the tornado watch in effect until midnight. The pink here for the rest of southern Wisconsin is a severe thunderstorm watch, again, until midnight. That's going to really be when that severe weather threat finally dies down. Carrie asking why, I'm assuming asking why does Rockford not have a tornado watch? Rockford is not under a tornado watch. So Winnebago, Ogle, Lee, Boone, DeKalb, McHenry counties, there is no weather alert for you as of right now. That is because we just need to wait and see how that line of thunderstorms in eastern Iowa develops, and does it continue to strengthen or does it start to fall apart as it gets closer to the Mississippi River. So we just have to watch that carefully. That's going to be why the National Weather Service didn't extend that watch for the rest of northern Illinois. So tornado watch for the northwestern part of Illinois, the Mississippi River border counties, so Joe Davis, Carroll, and Whiteside County, and then Stevenson County, including the city of Freeport. Let me see here. Let me try to get to the other questions. I know I've probably missed a few here while I've been going on a tirade. Let's see. And Linnell saying, yes, storm spotters help the National Weather Service. Yes. We absolutely need more storm spotters out there. The National Weather Service has storm spotter classes all throughout the spring. I believe there's still 1 or 2 more online classes. So the National Weather Service will have information on that on their websites. But the eyes and ears of the National Weather Service, absolutely. And the eyes and ears to us, too, because, we all get that information, and whenever we can share that information with anybody, including you, that helps keep people safe. So storm spotters are, of course, just an amazing resource that we have. And we're glad that we have so many, but we could always use more. There's all these little communities there, that we can always get some information from. So obviously, thank you very much to all the storm spotters out there, rural or urban areas. So Elisa asking, how long until it crosses the Mississippi River? And in fact, I actually just got some new... It's a fairly long note from the National Weather Service. I kind of read through it here. I'm thinking somewhere around 9 o'clock is when that line of thunderstorms, and actually let me pull up I got to go to the other computer. There we go. Is when I managed to mess that up. Okay, there we go. The line of thunderstorms now progressing further across eastern Iowa. And it looks like we got a brand new severe thunderstorm warning. So let's see what that is about. That is for northwestern Rock County. So we'll get back to talking about that Iowa line in just a second, but we got brand new information from the National Weather Service, a severe thunderstorm warning until 8 o'clock. So for the next about 35 minutes, there's the math. 35 minutes for areas to the west of Janesville. So this does not explicitly include Janesville. I believe this does include, yes, Evansville and Magnolia, kind of cutting across over to Edgerton. So this is the northwestern quarter, essentially, of Rock County now under a severe thunderstorm warning until 8 o'clock. So this is that continuation of the severe thunderstorm in Greene County that continues to move off to the east into Rock County. So Evansville, Edgerton, Magnolia. This is now where we want to be, taking action. A severe thunderstorm warning, that is your call to action. So we're talking about tornado watches, severe thunderstorm watches. That's your heads up. A severe thunderstorm or tornado warning is your call to action. So in this case, it is a severe thunderstorm warning for northwestern Rock County. So what do we want you to do when you're in a severe thunderstorm warning? You just want to move away from the windows, especially when we're talking about a wind threat, kind of just moving away from the outside walls if you can, just because with this wind threat, we could see tree branches falling, and we don't want any kind of danger with any tree branches falling on your home. So kind of with this severe thunderstorm, you can expect wind damage to the roofs, as well as the windows and to trees as well. Also be ready for potential power outages. If tree branches fall on the power lines, that can create power outages. So make sure your phones are charged up, especially when you're under a tornado watch, a severe thunderstorm watch. That's a good time. Hey, plug in the phone or anything else that needs to be plugged in to get those batteries charged up, because we could see that potential for power outages once that thunderstorm rolls through. So Jennifer asking about Pecatonica, pretty close to Freeport. We don't have a basement. So with these, with this kind of threat here, you're okay just finding the centermost and lowest most part of your townhouse. So just kind of think ground floor, just kind of think of an objective as putting as many walls between you and the outside as possible. And again, that's once these thunderstorms get here. In a watch, yes, you're doing absolutely the right thing, trying to think of ways you can get to a safe space in case of a tornado warning. So just think of the centermost part of your home, smallest room. Think of putting as many walls between you and the outside as possible. Absolutely, the worst places to be in a tornado are in a car or in a mobile home. So really, if you're in any of those and you're under tornado watch, you really want to be thinking, okay, where do I go in case there is a tornado warning issued for my area? So just try, when you're in a mobile home, you want to get out of them, find a site-built structure. So think of, a family's, family member's house, a friend's house, a neighbor, or like even something like a gas station, a convenience store, or any kind of, a Walmart, a Target, whatever. Just anywhere that isn't a mobile home, because that's one of the two places, mobile homes and cars, that you do not want to be in during a tornado. Just don't do it. So that's going to be what we watch for here. We do not have any tornado warnings in effect for our area. Do want to make that perfectly clear. We're just looking at a tornado watch for Greene County, Wisconsin, Stevenson County in Illinois, same story for Joe Davis, Carroll, and Whiteside counties. Severe thunderstorm watch for Rock and Walworth counties. Again, this is all in effect until midnight. Linnell saying lower level bathroom would be the best. A bathroom is a great place. In the bathroom, get in the bathtub, and also, grab sofa cushions off of the couch and then cover yourself with them. That can help you protect yourself from any debris that would be flying around in the case that a tornado does hit your home. So right now, Pecatonica, though, in Winnebago County, not in a watch at this point. However, again, you're kind of on the western fringe of Winnebago County, so I understand why you're a little bit nervous. Like, okay, the watch is for Stevenson, but I'm just a few miles east of the Stevenson County line, so what's my kind of situation there? So really just want to make sure that you are staying safe, and then just kind of, waiting to see. Again, no formal watch for Winnebago County just yet, so I know, there's kind of been a little confusion. Does it include Winnebago County? Does it not include Winnebago County? The tornado watch does not include Winnebago County right now. Does it get put under a tornado watch later? That remains to be seen. We just have to see how this line of thunderstorms gets here. But again, it's also that race against time. We saw a somewhat similar situation last Tuesday, if you remember that, kind of when we saw that severe weather threat coming in. We saw that actually a couple Tuesdays ago, where we were seeing the line of thunderstorms across Iowa, and it was just kind of in a race against time. We're kind of in a similar situation there when we're saying, when does the atmosphere kind of stabilize again later at night? So it's going to be kind of just where do these storms just kind of fall apart? So far, the models, the future track that I've been showing, has been kind of having it falling apart as it gets closer to the I-39 corridor. So let me pull that up here once again. So there you kind of see the thunderstorms kind of approaching the Mississippi River close to 9 o'clock. So I think this specific model may be just a touch slow, but still, just kind of think about reaching that Mississippi River area around 9 o'clock. So that's going to be kind of the timing there. So then maybe approaching the Freeport area close to 10, maybe as late as 11 o'clock. Same story for Sterling and Dixon. And then approaching the I-39 corridor close to 11 o'clock to midnight. So that's going to be what we watch for there. But that midnight, again, like I was talking about, that's kind of a key time here. Because see how those thunderstorms just kind of fall apart? In terms of the severe weather potential, the severe weather threat kind of just goes away after midnight. So that's what we're seeing in terms of the severe weather threat. However, still going to be some pretty heavy rain. Still could see some pretty decent lightning too. So it could be a little bit of a noisy night up ahead. And then we also see newer pockets of heavier rain coming in, especially the farther south you go. That's kind of where we're seeing the higher potential for additional rounds of heavy rain after midnight. So that's where we see that potential flooding threat, especially near areas near and south of I-88. That's that potential for, or where we're seeing that higher potential for some potential flooding as we head overnight, as we have additional rounds of thunderstorms rolling through here. So here, Ashley asking, can we run that a little bit slower here? So yeah, so there's the thunderstorms across Iowa right now. And if anything, I'm kind of looking at how this model is showing this right now, and then also looking at my radar down here to see kind of how is it correlating. If anything, I think this model is a little bit slow with this. The line is kind of over here by now, so maybe it might just be a little slow here. But as we kind of progress this further, and I have this zoom on here so that we can get a little bit more of a local focus here, I'm thinking that this line kind of approaches that Mississippi River kind of line, if you will, as we head towards 9 o'clock. So that's going to be about here in the next hour and a half or so when we're going to be seeing that line of storms approaching Joe Davis, Carroll, and Whiteside County. So Linnell, you're asking about Joe Davis County and Elizabeth. Probably going to be looking at about the next hour and a half to 2.5 hours. That's going to be that kind of window that we see this line coming through. And then as we progress further on, so let's take a look here closer towards 10 and 11 o'clock. And again, I think we kind of bump this an hour back here. So maybe close to 10 o'clock, reaching the Monroe, Freeport, Sterling areas. Same story for Dixon as well, probably closer to, let's just say between 10 and 11 o'clock. And then between 11 o'clock and midnight, that's kind of reaching the I-39 corridor. But again, closer to midnight, see how those storms just kind of just fall apart like that. So that's going to be kind of, where does that happen with these thunderstorms? Where do they just kind of just fall apart? So that's, right now we're kind of thinking that probably around midnight. That's kind of the timing here. That's why this tornado watch is in effect until midnight and the severe thunderstorm watch is in effect until midnight for parts of the area, and I'll go through that one more time here. However, it's just going to be right around midnight. That's going to be when these storms really start to fall apart, and the main concern there is going to turn towards potential flooding with that potential as well. So Carrie asking, so they aren't intensifying at all. Let me take a look here. Let's just take a look at it together. Let's see what we're looking at for this line coming through eastern Iowa. We've got severe thunderstorm warnings in place until 7:45. Let me pull up the actual text of the warning. 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts with that section of the line, and then same story for that one too, for that southern little bit there. And then we can put on the velocity tool here that we have. This can show you the wind speeds within this, and especially in this northern part of the line. See how we've got these brighter greens there? That's indicative of kind of gusting out with this kind of thunderstorm. So what we're seeing with that there is that, really starting to push. The thunderstorm just really starting to gust out. So that's going to be what we're seeing here. And I also, let's do this actually. Moving at about 45 miles per hour. Well, why don't I just put an extended track here, and let's kind of just time this out. So kind of the strongest bit right now is south of I-80, but it's got a little bit of a northward component of motion here. So let me time this out to the I-39 corridor right now. So let me kind of pinpoint our more local communities here. So Davenport and the Quad Cities, close to about 8:45, 9 o'clock. So when we were talking about reaching the Mississippi River close to 9 o'clock, that looks pretty much on par here. Sterling closer towards 10 o'clock. Same story for Dixon, and then Rockford between 10 and 11. So kind of that 10:30 time frame here. And again, like I mentioned before, these lines can kind of speed up and they can slow down. So, that's why we just have to watch the radar carefully over the next few hours. So Audrey's saying it's just going to be dependent on the instability in the air. That's correct. It's just going to be how much instability is left, because after sunset, once the sun really stops heating up the surface, we start to lose that instability. So it's just going to be, where do those storms just lose that kind of atmosphere, and then they just kind of fall apart. So let's see. Not quite sure what we're talking about with tornado ratings. There have been tornadoes reported across northern Missouri, I've seen. We don't have any kind of indications on and any kind of survey information with that. Of course, I'm sure you've seen the tornado videos and the damage from the tornadoes from yesterday. Horrific damage across Nebraska and Iowa. Thankfully, we're not going to be seeing that here at home, but nonetheless, we're under a tornado watch for a reason. There is a potential for embedded tornadoes within this line of thunderstorms, so we really want to keep that in mind here as this gets closer to our northwestern part of our area. And again, as this thunderstorm continues to reach that Mississippi River area close to 9 o'clock. So, Jayla asking, see Sterling around 9:50, so it would be about the same time for Freeport. I think so. I think if anything, maybe just a little bit later, but I think that's around that 10 o'clock hour, between 10 and 11, I think, is going to be when we see this line coming into Freeport, at least how the track would suggest that as of right now. Looks like we're getting some new, so the National Weather Service, so I'm just watching the National Weather Service in the Quad Cities. issuing new severe thunderstorm warnings out ahead of this line of thunderstorms. So they're just, they're going to continue issuing these severe thunderstorm warnings until, these storms really start to fall apart. So we're still looking at 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts with that line of thunderstorms. Again, going to be reaching our area between 9 and midnight. That's going to be the window here that we see this line of thunderstorms rolling through the area. So I think we're wondering about, why is Rockford protected from tornadoes? And I can think of 2 tornadoes in the last 4 or 5 years that have, and I've lived in Rockford my whole life, and, Rockford has, and Boone County too. I literally did a story there in Project Tornado, how Boone County has seen a long history with tornadoes. So there is, there's no real kind of thing preventing any kind of tornado activity in any part of our area. We are in one of the most tornado-prone areas amongst really the entire world across the central United States. So, yeah, it's like we have seen plenty of these tornadoes before. There's nothing really stopping these from happening. I mean, one quite literally came through the Mississippi area, which is right along the river. So we have not, yes, we are in a valley, but that doesn't stop tornadoes from, I've seen numerous instances of tornadoes crossing the Mississippi River, even some doing it twice near the Quad Cities. So river valleys do not stop any of these tornadoes. So, just because we're saying, does it reach the Mississippi River or does it fall apart near the Mississippi River, that doesn't mean it's the Mississippi River actually, kind of just pushing these thunderstorms away. It's just where do these thunderstorms just kind of lose steam with eastern extent. So that's kind of what we're talking about here, just kind of, a geographic instance of, where we're going to be thinking that these thunderstorms just lose steam. Has nothing to do with a river valley or anything like that. It's just we're going to be seeing, do these fall apart closer to the Mississippi River or do they fall apart closer to I-39? That's pretty much what we're talking about there. So that's kind of just what we're talking about there. So again, let me recap this one more time just so that anybody who's just jumping in here can get the information. First off, want to update our southern Wisconsin viewers there. Greene and Rock County, severe thunderstorm warning until 7:45, at least for Greene County. I believe there was a newer expiration time, yes, until 8 o'clock for northwestern Rock County. This is for quarter-size hail, 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts for that thunderstorm that has been moving across northern Greene and is now kind of carrying over into Rock County. And it's pretty much cleared Greene County right now, and it's just moving across that US 14 corridor between Evansville and Janesville right now. So this is that severe thunderstorm capable of 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts and quarter-size hail. Over the last few scans, you can see how we're seeing those purple colors there on radar across northern Greene County. See how we don't necessarily see those anymore. So maybe this thunderstorm weakening just a little bit. Let me check in with the National Weather Service in Milwaukee, see what they're looking at in terms of this thunderstorm warning. Seeing a lot of reports of hail of around a quarter size in Lafayette County, which is, for reference here, let me switch back to radar here. Lafayette County is the county just to the west of Greene County, so that's the Darlington area. That's the kind of area where we have seen that, we have seen some quarter-size hail, maybe even a little bit larger looking at that picture. But anyways, as this thunderstorm continues to move through, you can see how there has been a little bit of a weakening trend. So maybe some good news there that the northern storms that have been staying north of the Illinois state line may be starting to weaken just a little bit. But nonetheless, that is the kind of, imminent severe threat for, the very short term and in terms of right now. But then as we continue to look off to the west, there's that line of thunderstorms rolling across eastern Iowa. And again, there is a little bit of a component of motion there. I do want to stop the radar here for just 1 second. See how we're seeing a little bit of a bowing segment there? That's where you look for that strong wind potential. So that's going to be something that we look out for over the next few hours as this has just a little bit of a northward component of motion here. So that's why we have the new watches in place for Joe Davis, Stevenson, Carroll, and Whiteside counties. That's a tornado watch until midnight. Same story for Greene County, Wisconsin, I should say. Also under a tornado watch until midnight. Rock and Walworth counties in southern Wisconsin, that is a severe thunderstorm watch until, let me see here, until midnight as well. So we're seeing Linnell saying Joe Davis under a severe thunderstorm. I don't see a severe thunderstorm warning for Joe Davis County, Linnell, so I'm not sure where that's coming from. Let me check in with the Weather Service. I don't think that storm that's in just to the north of Dubuque there, I don't think that's going to be impacting Joe Davis County. Let me take a look at that quickly here. Yeah, I don't see a severe thunderstorm warning for Joe Davis County. However, we just need to continue watching this line of thunderstorms here. This is going to be the focus for the severe weather threat over the next few hours. Again, kind of reaching far western parts of our area near the Mississippi River at about 9 o'clock. So our window is going to kind of be between 9 p.m. and midnight across the entire area. Tornado watches in place. Let me put these up one more time. Tornado watch in yellow, Greene, Stevenson, Joe Davis, Carroll, and Whiteside counties until midnight. Rock and Walworth counties until midnight for a severe thunderstorm watch. That's the pink shading here. So tornado watch in yellow, severe thunderstorm watch in pink, both expire at midnight. So no watch yet for Winnebago, Ogle, Lee, Boone, DeKalb, and McHenry. No watch to speak of as of yet. Does a watch get issued here in the next few hours? We'll see. It just depends on how that line of thunderstorms rolls into the area. So Linnell saying it came from the Quad City. Yeah, there's no severe thunderstorm warning for Joe Davis County. So, I don't know where that's coming from. I'll look into it, but there is no severe thunderstorm warning for Joe Davis County right now. So just want to make that clear. You know, if there was, they would show up in an orange box here somewhere, you know, kind of like how you see it shows up in Greene and Rock counties. You know, we don't see that in any part of Joe Davis County. So no severe thunderstorm warning for Joe Davis County. You know, we're seeing severe thunderstorm warnings in Greene and Rock County. This Rock County segment, it goes until 8 o'clock. This Greene County one is about to go away as that storm continues to move out of Greene County, and also even just see how it looks like it continues to weaken. So we'll be watching, of course, that threat carefully, but our longer-term focus here over the rest of the evening is a line of severe thunderstorms across eastern Iowa that's going to be moving into our area as we head after about 9 o'clock. 9 p.m. to midnight is that time that we really want to be staying weather aware. Linnell saying until 8:15. Yeah, I have not seen anything for Joe Davis County. I'm seeing Cedar, Johnson, Washington, Muscatine counties in Iowa until 8:15. But there's nothing for Joe Davis County. So whether there's some kind of loose kind of text going around somewhere, but we do know that there is no severe thunderstorm warning for Joe Davis County. So Linnell, no warning for you right now, but just continue to watch that line of thunderstorms as it comes across eastern Iowa. Carrie asking, do we know how big that tornado was in Nebraska? I haven't seen anything from the National Weather Service yet. I haven't been too focused on that. I've been kind of more focused on the severe threat for this evening, but I haven't seen anything yet, and I don't even know if the Weather Service has released any kind of survey information yet, just because it seems like it was a pretty long path of, and that was just one of them. There were so many others that were, going across eastern Iowa and eastern Nebraska and western Iowa yesterday. So that survey information I don't have off the tip of my fingers right now, but of course that has been a pretty big story over the last 24 hours. So Again, just to wrap it up here, tornado watches in place for, just do that there we go. Greene County in Wisconsin, Stevenson County, Joe Davis County, Carroll County, and Whiteside County until midnight. Tornado watch until midnight for the counties in yellow. That includes Freeport, Galena, Elizabeth, Stockton, Lanark, Milledgeville, Mount Carroll, Sterling, Rock Falls. Tornado watch until midnight. Rock and Walworth counties, so Janesville, Beloit, Lake Geneva, Elkhorn, East Troy, you're under a severe thunderstorm watch until midnight as well. So no watch yet for the rest of northern Illinois, so I-39 corridor points off to the east. No watch here yet for the counties there in gray. We're just kind of in a wait and see mode there to see how does the line of thunderstorms make it into the western part of Illinois, and then is it starting to lose steam? Is it losing severe characteristics? So we'll jump off of here for now. Of course, we'll have continuing updates over the rest of the night, especially as that line of storms rolls closer to our area. Let me do one more here just so that we can look at it. There we see it. As this line continues to get closer, especially if it remains severe, of course, we'll be jumping on our streaming platforms as well as on air if need be over the rest of the evening. So make sure to stay tuned. We'll keep you informed over the rest of the night. Again, once we get brand new alerts, we'll make sure to pass them along to you. But for now, I'm meteorologist John Jurgens. Thanks for joining me here, and of course, we'll update as need be.